G'day and welcome to the Hunting Connection podcast. My name is Zach Williams and I am your host. Here we'll connect you with hunters, fishers and outdoor enthusiasts from around the globe. This podcast will share hunting and fishing stories including past experiences and tackle the tough hunting stereotypes our community faces. We hope to be a positive influence to those outside the community while also having a laugh along the way. Hope you enjoy the podcast. G'day and welcome to another episode of Hunting Connection podcast. This is the first episode for 2023, and on this episode I have Gday Hunts, the founder of High Country Hunting Gear. How you going, mate?
Yeah, good, thanks, Zach. And yourself?
Yeah, good, thank you, mate. Good, thank you. It's good to kick off another year and got some great hunting lined up this year, so...
Yeah, that's it. Another exciting year of hunting, I hope, so it'll be good.
Yeah, last year was a bit slow, but it's preemptive for this year, so I'm going to be flat out the first couple months.
Yeah, I'm much the same. I've already booked my time off to when I want to go away hunting, so I'm keen as.
Very nice, very nice. So do you have, apart from what we spoke about earlier, Snake Island, first period, you got anything else on the cards?
Yeah, I've probably got most of end of March, most April off chasing fallow.
Very nice.
So I'll probably do a bit of fallow chasing in the rut for probably a month. Might chase a bit of reds beforehand, so late March, and then go on the fallow. I'd love to chase some Russo later in the year as well.
Beautiful.
It'd be awesome. Obviously, just got to get access first for that, and then get back into the sambar hunting, which I do most.
Awesome.
Back at home, it's keen for that.
Yeah, I definitely need to get over there to chase sambar again. I've been over to East Gippsland once, and one of my mates over there, he had a private property. So we hunted parks during the day, and then did some pest control on the farms for his property owners, and I managed to take my first sambar that way. But it was first of a species, but I was pretty stoked still.
Yeah, they're big. Like you don't realise until how big body mass they are until you shoot one. If you shot, let's say, like you used to shoot fallow and you go shoot a sambar, it's a massive difference.
Oh, that's exactly. I went from shooting fallow to shooting a sambar, and it's just like, wow. I shot a small stag, and a year and a half, maybe 2-year-old, and it's just no size comparison. Especially when you realise that they're the third largest deer species in the world.
Yeah, and when you hunt fallow, I'm not sure about you, but you can basically take the whole thing out, all the legs and back straps, and if not the whole carcass. But with a sambar, one leg is huge. It's back legs, all you're taking, and some back straps. You're doing multiple trips. They're big animals.
Yeah, I'm lucky. The properties I hunt, I can pretty much get the car to the animals I drop, or if not, really close. So there's not much walking them out, thankfully.
Perfect.
So where you from, mate?
Originally from Wodonga, so
nice.
Northeast Victoria.
Very nice.
Basically so Wodonga was Victoria, and then Albury's New South Wales, so right on the border there.
Yeah, very nice. I had a mate, he moved over there a few years back and then moved back a couple years later, but he spoke highly. Yeah. He enjoyed it.
Yeah, good. It's good enough, and most things are in driving distance. So we've got the Murray River, you got the Weir, you got the snowfields, you got the high country. Melbourne and Sydney aren't that far, and the town kind of has enough to keep us happy, I guess.
Yeah, he was living in, I think, Victoria side and working New South Wales side.
Yeah, that was me. So I live out of town now, about half an hour out of Wodonga, and then I work in Albury, which is New South Wales.
Very nice. So speaking of that, what do you do for work?
Previously plumbing, but now I just do the quoting and sales side of it. So been doing that for nearly 9 years now.
Very nice.
So it's more in heating and cooling, so air conditioning, refrigeration, all that kind of stuff in new homes, commercial, basically anything that needs air conditioning.
Very nice. Must keep you busy, especially this time of year.
Flat out. That's why I basically work most through Christmas, because we haven't had it hot yet, and then everyone seems to have their breakdowns and whatnot. So I'll just give the boys a hand on the tools just to get some jobs done.
Yeah,
which has been a while, but it was good.
Yeah, it seems that the aircon doesn't break until you need it.
Yeah, bloody pain. But I'm lucky. I always got air conditioning.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Mine's cranking right now. It's pretty warm over here in Adelaide today and the rest of this week, but we've been pretty spoilt for weather. It's been, mid to high 20s most of the Christmas break, where it's usually 35 to 40.
Yeah. But we're still getting, I'm not sure about you, but we're still getting cold mornings. Like, it's still around like 10 degrees, 10 to 15, which is pretty good.
Yeah, up until recently, yeah. This week's been a bit warmer. It was, I think, about 27 when I got up this morning. But yeah, that's the amount of feed around still at the moment is crazy. My folks live up in the Adelaide Hills, and just driving through there, the patches of green grass around everywhere still is just incredible.
Fair bit of green around here, which is good.
Yeah, I'm hoping that because of all this feed, there's going to be some nice fallow heads around this year. Not that I'll get to chase them with how busy I'll be, but
yeah, I'm keen to chase some local ones. I've seen some real good ones at home just before they dropped.
Yeah.
So I'm keen to put a bit of work into the local ones before I go up, like say New South Wales, when I chase them for the rut.
Nice. So, do you rattle, or do you call, or you just spot and stalk?
Just depends what time it is and what situation I'm in. More of a spot and stalk. But in the rut, mostly call them in. Yeah.
Nice. So, you rattling them, or are you?
Oh, yeah, yep. Or like your caller.
Yeah.
I find rattling. A lot of the, depending when it is, you get a lot of the what they call the satellite bucks.
Yeah,
you probably know, like the small bucks. It's hard to get those big fellas in. I found with rattling, but just depends what time it is.
Yeah, it's something I need to work on. I haven't been too successful in rattling or calling at all. All my success has pretty much been spot and stalk.
Yeah. So I like doing that. I like to, if you hit the time right, you just hear the croaks and you head towards them and lay eyes and say, yep, that's not what I'm looking for, and then keep moving on. And that's basically what I done last year.
Beautiful.
Probably found an absolute crack, and I missed from 60, and I'm still spewing about him.
Yeah, I've
unreal.
Missed a couple of nice deer with the bow, but that's a part of it.
I can believe it. It's just, still kicks me.
Oh, it always will. It plays back just before, as you're closing your eyes, going to sleep. It just plays over and over.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So, how did you get into hunting and fishing and the outdoor lifestyle?
Always loved being outside. Like, we were always camping and whatnot when I was younger. And then flicking the bow around, I don't know, when I was maybe 12 to 16, just for some fun, trying to shoot rabbits and whatnot up the bush. And then when I turned 18, my cousin was a fair bit into deer hunting. He hadn't done it long, and I just jumped along with him and probably hunted with him for about a year, and then he kind of fell out of it, and I just kept continuing by myself, and then started to connect through people through like Instagram and local deer associations, and making new friends with that, and finding out more local people doing it, and then just finding more friends to go with, basically, which is good. So I do a lot by myself, but then I've got a lot of mates that I go with now and hunt with. But I was just initially just going with my cousin and just fell in love with it then, and just so it's probably it's been 7 or 8 years now.
Very nice.
Hunting deer, so not a long time. Heaps to learn, which I love going with the older blokes because they just teach you so much, and I'm all for what they've got to say and tweak things or do things better, because there's always so much to learn especially when you think you figure them out and they something else happens. And as you know, like Sam are renowned for it.
Just
like they're just completely day after another.
Yeah, just that season change. Just that, like, you'll just start patterning them, and then that season changes, and then they just change their whole routine. It's like, damn it.
Yeah, it's just unreal.
So yeah, 7-8 years into hunting deer, you've had some incredible hunts, man. How old were you when you took your first deer, and what was it?
It would have been 18. It would have been San Bordeaux. Yeah, I remember it was I reckon it was in February. It was like 35, something ridiculous. We went out and we shot it, and it was in the steepest gully possible, trying to carry this down. I'm like, this is awesome. I love it. And we were just sweating bullets and not worrying about snakes, nothing. I was just so wrapped. I couldn't believe it. And it was probably, like, didn't have the best gun. It was probably maybe 150 metres, and I couldn't believe I hit it. I'm like, just like, yeah, I'd done it.
Yeah, those first nerves when you're sighting up a deer can get the best of you.
Yeah. Dropped on the spot, and I couldn't believe it. I was pretty over the moon, and I was hooked it from that moment.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, my first deer was a fallow doe with a bow, just a absolute fluke of the thing.
It stepped forward and you released.
Yeah. So what type of gear are you running with? Are you hunting with rifles, bows?
Yes, basically when I turned 18, I got my gun license, as most do, and been hunting with that ever since, until probably a couple months ago I picked the bow back up. And the reason for it is because, like you said, Snake Island, because I shot a pretty good deer with my gun last time, and I'd love to get one with the bow. So I've been
pretty good.
I went up with Brad Murphy, the bow coach. If you've heard of him before, on Instagram. Bit of time with him. Tweaked some things up and just been shooting it flat out since then. Trying to get the confidence up before I go.
There's no better person to get you into the archery and bow hunting community than Brad Murphy, getting you all sorted. So no doubt you'll have success following all of those that help. So
yeah,
that's awesome.
Because I've shot bows before for a while. I'm like, I don't want to just start flicking it back and create bad habits. I want to just go to him, tweak things. He can help me set my bow back up and whatnot. And Ian Summers, another bow legend, set the bow up for me. And
beautiful.
Just went 2 hours with him, tweaked it, like just working him, just pulling it back properly and all that kind of stuff, just getting it right. So now I'm feeling more confident, just getting further and further back and trying to get those groups good and whatnot.
That's awesome. So what bow are you running?
It's a Cure Elite.
Okay, yep.
So it's a pretty good bow. I love it. It's quiet, really quiet.
Very nice. What's your arrow broadhead setup?
I've got, so Brad put me onto the Heat Seekers.
Yep, very nice.
I think they're 350 shafts, and then I'm running the 125 Cayuga broadheads.
Is that the pilot cuts, or are you using the Zots, or?
The ones that they've got the inserts, I'm not sure what they're called.
Yeah, I think
they're the
kind of the triangle. Insert. Yeah.
Yeah. I think they're, I don't know, second gen or something like that. I can't remember what they're called.
Yeah, very nice. No, Cayuga.
I haven't shot a deer with it.
You broke up there. You said you hadn't shot a deer with it?
Oh, I haven't shot it. Yeah, I haven't shot a deer with it yet. So if I go to Snake Island and I shoot one, it'll be the first deer with the bow. So
that'll be
pretty cool.
That'll be incredible. Not many people can say their first deer with a bow is a hog deer.
Yeah, so it'll be a good one. Just pick it all up there, you know.
Yeah, they'll start from the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll would have to be some type of record in Australia. The first first person to take a hog deer with a bow as first of species.
Yeah, yeah. I thought, why not? I've already shot a good one. I thought, like the chances are gone twice of that slim. So I thought, no, but why not just try to take a bow?
Twice in 3 years.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, a few blokes aren't impressed, but I guess it's just the luck of the draw.
Yeah, I was speaking to one bloke in South Australia, and he said that he took 25 years to draw.
Yeah, well, a few of the guys in my period I've talked to, some of them are nearly the 30, some are 15 and 30. It's just, ridiculous.
Yeah, that's incredible. Yeah, I was on the podcast joking around with one of the guests. I'm just like, what's the chances that this year I'm going to draw it when I've got New Zealand less than a month after? Like I was sweating bullets thinking that, my chances of drawing it when I'm supposed to be in New Zealand. And yep. I was very lucky drawing second period Snake Island. So
yeah.
What about rifle? What caliber are you running?
I was always a 308 man. Basically, since I started, I just loved the caliber. It's a gun that can basically do anything, I found. But I'm not sure if you've seen that I won last year in the part of our Australian Deer Association for our local branch. I won a 7mm Rem mag.
Oh, very nice.
Hour 100, and then I've been shooting that. So that's really nice gun.
Turned you off of the 308 for a bit.
Yeah, I've gone from the old Toyota Corolla to the Rolls Royce for that thing. The house set up with a Swario scope and whatnot. Where this other gun was just purely a bush gun. So
very nice.
Loving it.
Very nice, very nice. And you said that was a Hauer?
Sauer.
Oh, yep, no, very nice. Yep, 6 hour. Yep. Beautiful gun.
Yeah, nice.
So what type of gear are you taking out on a standard day hunt?
Always take it me backpack, bino harness with me binos, just Vortex binos. Always take water, obviously. I don't take a lot of food, to be honest, because I'm not usually out there that much. I just take a couple snack bars. Depending on the weather, if it's like now, I always wear gaiters. Don't like to stand on those wriggly creatures. Depending on how clear areas are, potentially shooting sticks. So if I'm on maybe private property, it's fairly open country, I'll potentially take shooting sticks. If not, obviously rest on a tree if you're not confident. And obviously my camo gear, my boots. Boots are a massive thing. I was always, when I started, just wearing work boots, and once I got a set of proper hunting boots, it was a game changer.
It does. It definitely does change. Touching on the snake gaiters, do you reckon they're vital for Snake Island?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, big time. There's a lot of tiger snakes over there, so
yeah.
A few blokes when I went last, and some brown snakes as well. So there's a fair few over there. I was lucky enough not to see one, but I think I was the only one that didn't. So
yeah, sweet. I got big high ones from Huntex, so I've got them in the pack ready to go.
2 legs, footy socks, your pants, gaiters. You'll be all right.
It's all good. Snakes don't bother me too much, so as long as I don't have any run-ins with a grumpy one, I'll be fine.
Yeah.
What kind of binos are you running?
They're Vortex. I'm not sure off the top of my head. Maybe 10x42 or something like that.
Yep, very nice, very nice.
Yep.
Are they?
Vortex are probably your best bang for the buck. Quality wise.
What type of Vortex are they? Diamondbacks?
I'm not sure. I think they're the black something.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
Diamondback. That's it. Yeah.
Yep. Very nice. Very nice. They would have to be the most common answer for four binos that I've got on the podcast. Just they're very affordable range and great quality. So
Well, if you look at those compared to Swarrows, and like the price difference is enormous, but I don't feel the quality is matches that.
yeah.
I understand. Obviously, they've got the rangefinders. They've got better opticals for, say, first light and last light. But honestly, I can't justify the difference for the cost.
Yeah. No,
Like they might get you next 10 minutes, first light and last light, and they've got the rangefinders in it. But I just run a third party rangefinder. So
yeah, same. So yeah, that it seems that they do seem to be the best bang for the buck. What about bino harness? What are you running there?
I've got the Bushbuck.
Bushbuck, very nice. They
Yeah, it's bloody really good. I love it because it's got a magnet. When I had the Vortex when I come with the binos, and it was always like a stretchy cable.
Yeah.
I hated that. Where this you can flip up, I love it.
Yeah, I've got the Vortex one. That was the first bino harness I started off with, and yeah, that little stretchy cable's a bastard. But I've got the Badlands one now with the magnets in it, and it's so much better. It just pops up, clips straight in, nice and snug.
And it's quiet and it's easy. So yeah, like if someone's out there looking at harnesses and you're not sure what to get, look at something that definitely has magnets because it's just so easy to flip it up and out. And they're strong magnets. Don't feel like they're going to fall out because you think magnets aren't strong, but they're really, really good.
Yeah, mine's even got a warning on the inside of it. If you have a pacemaker, do not use this.
Yeah.
Just for the magnets in it.
Yeah.
So what type of pack do you have? What's your main hunting pack?
Oh, it depends on the day, to be honest. I've got a heap of backpacks, as probably most guys do. I actually won. It was a Hunter's Element competition, and I won one of their backpacks. Oh, it's not big, mate. Maybe 30 litres, or whatever their range is. I run that usually, or I've got a Ridgeline one. I've got a Spiker. I've got a few different size ones. I've got a small like dry pack for the Spiker. Like if I'm only going for a couple of hours, just depends on honestly where I'm going or how long. Or I don't have a big like backpack yet, like a big overnighter thing, which I'd love to get eventually when I do more backpacking up the high country.
What pack did you take over to Snake Island with you? How many litres was that?
I can't remember off the top of my head. I think I just took a small pack, to be honest, because I try to reduce my weight as much as possible. So I had my bino harness, and the most of the stuff I took in it like a Pelican case with all my my camping gear and things. Because I was just walking to and from my hunting spot, I didn't really need a lot of the essentials you would need. Obviously, if you're stalking or whatnot in the bush. So I just took like a bino harness. I took the pack, and then just like knives and toilet paper, bit of food, water, and that was it.
Speaking of walking from hunting spot to camp, how far are you camping away from the hunting spot when you're over there?
It would be a couple of Ks. The first day I initially done 26 Ks all up, just getting in, set up to my spot.
That's crazy.
Which was an absolute mission and a half. Dragging the little trolley here. Probably 3 Ks maybe.
Yep.
From camp to my spot, which this year I've worked out is probably more like 3.5, 4 Ks to where I want to hunt. So that's one way. So it's probably going to be, maybe 8 Ks a day.
Yeah.
Just going to and from. That's
right. It limits scent and noise and stuff like that, so you're not blowing out your spot.
Yeah, well, I'll look at it as I camped inland last time, which was good, but it was a mission getting out with the deer, all my gear, everything, trying to pull it all out. Whereas this year I'm going to camp on the Gulf.
Yep.
So all my gear's there. So once I've shot the deer, it's just the deer coming out. It's going to be heaps easier, and less time, all that kind of stuff.
Going to take a rod with you this time to try and catch some seafood for a bit of nutrition while you're over there?
I think in my downtime, I'm just going to look for casties because I didn't get a chance last time. So I'd love to find a castie over there. It would be pretty awesome. I'll top it off.
Oh, man.
I think.
If I can shoot anything bigger than a spike and find a castie, that would be my trip made.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So
it's either looking for casties or snakes.
Yeah. So what about what was your camp setup over there? What type of, were you just in a fly camp? Did you?
Yeah, well the mozzies and stand flies are bloody ridiculous over there. So I honestly had this little Oz Trail tent, which was like packed down tiny as. I think it was about $100 maybe BCF I brought it from, and that thing was unreal. Like, I'll take it again.
Beautiful.
Really easy. It's got the wings on either side, so I could put my gear in. Really lightweight. I thought that thing was awesome because I was going to buy a real flash, like high country one.
Yeah.
For up the bush, and I just found I'll give it a go, and it bloody worked. And then a mate took it as well, so this would be his third trip to Snake Island.
Oh, beautiful.
That was $100 trail.
What about cooking in that? Just a jet boil while you're over there? And
I didn't last time. I know a few of the other guys did, and I probably will this time. I honestly just took snacks.
Okay.
I wasn't there. I was there purely hunting. I didn't worry about food too much. I just took nuts and bars, lollies, like snacks. Honestly, I wasn't worried about the meals I was eating. I was focused on hunting. That's flat out. So
some serious dedication. I struggle hunting if I'm too hungry.
Well, one of the guys took probably an esky full of beers right into mainland as well. So he trekked them a long way, which was good because when I shot the beer off him, so I was bloody roped.
Yeah, I might have to put a flask or something in for when I shoot something. If I shoot something.
Yeah, absolutely.
What about water? How much water were you taking over there? Did you take over there with you?
Yeah, I think I'm not sure off the top of my head what it is. I think it's that the human needs I think it's 3 litres a day or something like that. So I worked that out. I took, I think, 20 litres.
Yeah.
So I took a berry can, which this time I want to do a bit smarter. And if you've ever been to Coles, you know the square cardboard box with the bladder in it.
Yep.
So they're litres each. So I thought I'll take them because I can spread the weight easier on my cart.
Okay.
Therefore, once they're done, I can squish them down, easier to get out. Or if I'm done, I can just cut the bladder, empty it, and hand out because I don't need the water.
Yeah, beautiful. That's a pretty good idea. I was thinking of going a 20-litre jerry can, so that might change my.
Yeah, that's what I went, but it was a pain because it was awkward size, and then the weight. It's too much weight in one spot. I found on my cart trying to lug the cart in. Where this time I can spread it, and they're tiny as they're 250 square cubes, so they're really easy. They got good pressure in it. Whereas a jerry can, you also got to crack the top open. You got to put the handle on it. These are easy as, and we use these at home as well on the farm. So
yeah, sweet. I might have to look into that. So you mentioned the cart / stand. What's the
yep?
What's the how'd you go setting that up?
The rickshaw. So last year I half built one with another mate that was going as well. So we basically just got an A-frame ladder, put some mountain bike tyres on it. I spray painted it all camo. We built like a seat at the top. And if you've ever seen those tree stands with like the big footrest that you put your feet on, we used that so that flips out. That was awesome. to rest your feet on your bag, anything like that. I put hooks on it as well, so I could hang all my gear off it.
Yeah, sweet.
So it was all there, which was good. It was off the ground. If I needed anything, I could just reach over. I didn't have to get down. I had a mate, he put an umbrella on his, which wasn't a bad. Trying to keep it as simple as possible. Handles. I also put like a what do I do? Put a loop around it. So, for instance, if you got sick of pulling with your handles, you could just basically walk forward and it would use your waist.
Yeah.
So if your arms got sore, you could use the loop around to pull it through. So I'm going to use a different mate this time. He set his up a bit different with a bit of loop, and he's got like a gun rest and whatnot, which I'll have a go at this time. Might take up the back of ours and test it a few times, see if I like it. If not, I'll take my one again.
Yeah, beautiful. What about attaching the wheels? How do you go about that? Because I've got the bits and pieces to put mine together, but pretty hopeless when it comes to that building type stuff.
Yeah. Basically, put it welded an axle through it, and then made the wheels with nuts on it, so you could detach the wheels off.
Yeah.
Put the top, and then when I stood it up, I just left the wheels on it. So I only took the wheels off when I was on the boat. Took a heap of spare parts like extra bolts, cable ties, duct tape, all that kind of stuff. Because like if you lose bolts or whatnot, you can still make it work.
Yeah.
If that fell to shit, I was buggered because that was all my gear on it. The deer was on it, everything.
How big do you recommend the tires being?
It's all about width of. Because if you think like a game trail, that's all it kind of is on the tracks over there. So you want wide wheels because there's a lot of tussock. So initially I had my wheels nice and tight, so the width of the ladder. But what would happen is I hit the tussocks and it would want to tip. So I went wider. So I actually went over the tussock, which seemed to work better. So a wider wheelbase was better. It didn't matter necessarily on the tyre. I've seen guys that had like BMX tyres, but they had the width, so they worked really well in the sand.
Yeah, cool.
I had tyres which were a bit bigger. They seemed a bit better up the hill and balancing wise. I think it's just basically building one and testing it a lot before you go over there. I tested mine heaps of times of how I could set my gear up so I could weight it right. That was good because then when I got off the boat, got to the island, I set it straight up to how I knew I wanted it, and then started going. Not trying to work out where things fit, all that kind of stuff.
Okay, beautiful. That means I need to get my ass into gear to get mine built, so I can play around with it for a bit.
Absolutely.
Sorry, you're just cutting out a little bit there. That's all good. What would be your top beginner tip into getting into hunting?
Probably find someone that does it or does it regularly. Find someone that you could potentially go with, or that you know that hunts a bit, and ask them if they could teach you something. That's probably the biggest thing. I was just learning off different people. I was doing a lot by myself, and you'd go talk to someone, or you'd go out with someone that's willing to take you out potentially, and you'll learn so much. That was probably the big game changer for me. It's probably why I like the social media side of it, and that's why I like Instagram and things like that, because you can connect so easy with other guys and even girls that hunt as well, and you learn so much, all just watching videos that they do, and there's so much to learn out there, and if people are willing to teach you, I'll definitely take it on.
Yeah, definitely. Social media is definitely a big learning curve to getting into hunting. I think people getting into hunting these days with having access to Instagram and Facebook and YouTube have a real benefit, because they're taking so much information on, and there's so many great people with YouTube channels and Instagram pages and stuff like that.
Yep, absolutely.
So you said a little bit earlier about was it ADA? Are you a member of the ADA?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Australian Deer Association, for those that don't know, so they run local branches. So I'm part of the Murray Valley branch, which is obviously in the east. And it's a great organisation. There's a lot of old guys there, which I find is awesome because they've done it for 30, 50 years. And they've got so much knowledge, and they're always willing to teach you things, which is awesome. And like, they just love it. They live and breathe. A lot of them are retired now. So they do it nearly every day, which is awesome. So I just got a young pup, and I went out with one of them that is real good with dogs, and he was teaching me heaps of things with me, young GSP, which was awesome. So I learned heaps off that, and just, you ask them questions, and they're just a book full of knowledge, basically.
Yeah, that's good to hear. Like, in South Australia for a long time, there was a real stigma with the ADA. But in recent years, people like the Send It Mate guys, Josh Haynes, and a few other people, they've all become big in the ADA. And from what I've heard, things are changing, and it seems to be a lot better for beginner hunters, rather than the stigma that it used to have years ago, just as like an old boys club. So it's great to hear that more people getting out there, and the ADA is benefiting people.
The only disappointing thing, especially around here, there's so much hunting. Like, I could drive, obviously behind my house, but I could drive before, and like, you drive out of town half an hour and you could be in the bush. So with that though, there's so many people that hunt, but in our group, there's not a lot of young people, which really annoys me and frustrates me, because I know there's a lot of people hunting, but why aren't they helping these associations to get bigger, so they've got a bigger voice, so we can get more land to hunt, we can do more accessibility and have more rights, basically. But it just annoys me that these old guys have been in it for so long, and they're the only ones holding it together.
Yeah.
Like, there's not many young people part of it, which really annoys me. I don't understand why, so that's why I try to push it towards other people. Like, join one if you like. You'll learn so much, and the knowledge is there. It's not going to last. These guys aren't going to be around forever, and that's gone. There might not even be that association around. So
yeah, no, that's definitely a good point. Get over to the ADA website and find your local branch, and go down to one of their meets and have a chat.
Club hunts, they do a lot of giveaways. We do award nights. We do heaps of things. Like, it's not just you're a member and that's it. Like, we have normal nights where they do giveaways and heaps of things. Like, it's awesome, and it's good community. We go down the rifle range as well to shoot guns. We do competitions. There's heaps of things you do. It's not just being a member. There's positives. There's heaps of things out of it. I want a gun out of it, for instance. Like, it's pretty awesome.
That's awesome. So you'd probably change your top beginner tip to go join the ADA, or find a local hunting club to join.
Absolutely.
So what would be your top 5 items for a beginner?
But for hunting?
Yeah.
It would be definitely, obviously you need camo, clothes and whatnot. I would definitely get onto of what you can afford. The best, I always say, it's best what you can afford. So the best boots that you could afford, that might be, say, $100 or $200 boots. I started with boots like that. Now I've got Lauer boots, which are probably a bit dearer. But you've got to work your way in it. You've got to make sure you enjoy it first, because I know guys that say, for instance, fishing, they might say, yep, get into fishing, I'll go spend $3,000, $4,000 on all this gear, and then they fall out of it in a month.
Yeah.
So especially with hunting, if you're new to it, just start on the basics. Just start on cheaper things, and you might not enjoy it in 6 months, and then you didn't waste all this money. So buy what you can afford, what you can justify. So whatever boots you can afford. A backpack, obviously, with preferably like a bladder, so you can obviously got water in it and whatnot. A good knife, like, you work your way up. Like, Robert Herbert does some really good knives. They are on the dearer side, so there might be something, obviously, when you enjoy it more, you will get one of those down the track. I didn't buy one straight away.
That Zoe zipper he's come out now. That looks like a wicked blade.
Yeah, that's probably more something for more of an experienced hunter, because obviously you're shooting more deer, so you're going to need a better knife. So for starters, it might just be a cheaper knife, to be honest, and a sharpening blade. Binos, like I started off with binos. I think they're about $50, to be honest. Just something so I could, like, they probably weren't even binoculars, to be honest. They're probably just glass that you can see something at the same distance. But yeah, binos. So then you're just getting used to stopping and looking. So you're not just walking flat out.
They're definitely
just a rifle you can afford with. Yeah, and then probably just maybe a rifle you can afford with a half decent scope. You probably only need to spend $300 to $500 for a decent scope.
And what would be
for
Victoria? What would be your caliber you would recommend? I know you said earlier 308. Would that be your recommended caliber? Because
308 for sure. Yep.
Because Samba's 270, that's the Samba legal rifle, isn't it?
I believe so. Yeah. With the 308, you can shoot anything with. Basically, you can shoot any class of deer. I've shot foxes with them, which they make a bit of a mess. But you can. It's a variety gun. You can shoot anything. It's not a huge gun like, I say, a 30-06 or a 338, which I know guys that run them pretty high, so they can punch through deer.
Yeah. And
the deer keeps going. I found 308 always pulls up, which is what you want. Because you don't want the exit, because they can run all day, those Samba. So
they can. They're a tough animal, that's for sure. So, zombie apocalypse weapon.
It'd have to be like a Black Hawk helicopter or something ridiculous. I've always, when I was a kid, wanted to fly one. It'd be awesome. But yeah, something like that would be nuts. Big bloody machine guns on the side, just feeding bullets flat out, missiles.
Bit impractical, but it would be good fun, that's for sure.
Yeah.
What have you forgotten on a hunting trip?
Probably toilet paper, which is a silly one, but yeah. Paper is probably an absolute necessity, because when you don't have it, you need it. When you have it, you don't.
Yeah. That's something I always carry double of. I've gone out and come back with no socks and no neck gaiter, and
like, it's good. Toilet paper is good to clean your hands after you're done. Like, it's good if you cut yourself. It's good, obviously, if you need to go to the toilet. If you need to wrap something up, it's good for everything, really. Wipes are the same. They're good to clean things while you're out there. Clean your knife.
Yeah, since having a kid, baby wipes are essential in my pack these days. I'll be having a whore bath over on Snake Island, that's for sure, with wet wipes.
Yeah, that's all I had. Yep.
What's the most important item you take out hunting with you?
Well, you've obviously always got to have water. Probably not my answer, but yeah, you've always got to have water with you, no matter where you go. If you're going for a half an hour, always take a couple of litres of water, because you never know, you might track a deer and you keep going, goes over the next ridge, and before you know it's nearly dark and you're 10 Ks from your car.
Yeah.
So definitely water. And depends where you're going, I always take a gun, because if you go, I got to go to a lot of spots where there's wild dogs and whatnot, and could have some protection.
Have you had too many run-ins with? Sorry, have you had too many run-ins with wild dogs?
Yeah, I've seen a heap. Which is, I used to go set my trail camps and not take a gun, and then I started getting followed by some dogs up the high country, and I thought, nah, bugger this. I'll be taking a gun every time I go. So, I've seen a heap of dogs. Shot a few, got a few on cameras. Seen a couple of alpine dingoes, which was pretty cool. They're around everywhere. If you're quiet enough, you'll see a lot.
What seems to be the temperament on the ones that you run in on?
Oh, they're always curious. They always come to check you out. I haven't had any want to go me, which I don't think they do too much of, but they always because they're so curious and hungry for a feed, they'll always check you out. Like I've had them follow me, circle me, working back and forth. I've known people, they go fishing and they see them on the other side of the river, and then they're behind them, and yeah, they're really curious animal. So you got to be careful.
Do you find that helicopter culling increases their number because there's so much food around after they go through and do a cull?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's made them bloom, to be honest, because they're free feeds everywhere.
Yeah, it's a crazy thing.
Yeah, and I think like gunshots even sound silly, but when they hear a gunshot, they come into it. Like I've had that before. I took my young dog out and we shot a fallow, and as I was walking into it, seen a dog run across, big black dog, and I'm like, oh shit. And this was in the afternoon. It's probably maybe an hour before light, before the sun went down. So I was cutting it up, cutting all the legs, and I could hear howling flat out. I'm like, oh shit. I just tied the dog real close to me because she was only, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 months old, so she's only small. And I thought there was a good dog was going to grab her for sure, because the howling just get closer and closer and just going flat out. I already seen a dog, so basically just cut all the legs off. And what I could, just carried it all out, quickly dragged my dog along with me. But that was probably the scariest thing. Yeah,
that's insane. That's insane. Have you gone out and actually just targeted dogs by themselves? Like tried calling them in? Or?
Yeah, a couple of times. I found that Santa caller calls me pretty quick.
Oh, cool.
I went, got where I knew dogs were, and we were pretty much looking for dogs. So we sat down. Sorry, my dog's having a drink of water. Right. You can hear. Yeah, so we sat down and probably blew that caller, and within maybe 30 seconds, there was 2 dogs, maybe 25 metres away from us.
Yeah, cool.
Just sitting there, and it was the thickest stuff ever, and we did not hear them come in at all, which was so scary. So I just sat there looking at us, and then my cousin shot one, which was pretty cool.
That would be fun calling them in. When I went over to Mexico, I called in some coyotes and shot one. So I could kind of imagine hunting them would be like the equivalent of hunting coyotes over.
Yeah, they're just so
States.
quiet that they can pop up behind you and so quick. It's unreal.
That's cool. Yeah, I hope to have some good run-ins with them where I get to shoot them. I don't want any of the becoming prey.
Yeah, I see a lot of people because they're like a pack animal. Like they see 5 or 6. I'm like, that's pretty scary. I've never seen that many. I've had one big one which was pretty scary. I shot a stag. One of those Samber I shot on my Instagram, and a really prone wild dog area, and it's after the bushfires. So I'm like, I'm going to come back to this thing and leave a carcass, and I'm going to come back next week, and I reckon there'll be a dog on it. I was coming over the rise, and sure enough, this massive, mangy-looking dog was on it, almost like the size of a German Shepherd. It was huge, eating, and I was trying to get my phone. I was probably maybe 60 metres from it, like half behind a tree, and I tried to get my phone out to video it. And I stood on a twig, and it just looked straight at me. It just stared at me for probably, I don't know, maybe 20 seconds. And I just froze. I couldn't even press the film button. And then it looked down, kept eating. And then, I was stepped back, and the twig snapped back up again because it off. And it just looked at me, started running. I'm like, holy shit, just let it shot off. Ran off, started howling, and I'm like, oh, this is awesome. So I started following it for probably 10, 15 minutes, and I heard it howling, and then I heard another howl from a different dog and a different dog. This whole valley just lit up, and I was probably 10 k's from my car. I'm like, nah, I'm turning around.
That's insane.
That was
it would be cool, but it's...
Yeah, nah, not for me. Not by myself anymore.
Yeah, it would be... Yeah, just camping out there and hearing that off, you'd be wanting to sleep with some type of protection.
Yeah, I've heard them coming camp and that before, and yeah, they howl all night long. Pretty scary.
That's nuts. What's the most sketchy, dangerous thing that's happened to you out on a hunt?
probably scaled a rock face because somehow there was a bloody fellow casty on one. I was just standing in glass and I looked like to the left of me, this real steep rock face, and I was like, what is that? And I looked through my binos and it was a bloody casty. And it was a casty, actually, a good palm on it. And went across and got it, and then I was like, oh, yeah, might as well look for the other one, and just looking around trying to scale this rock face, looking for another casty, and it was pretty dodgy. Like one slip, I would have slipped pretty far.
Anything for a casty, they tend to be one of the biggest prizes while you're out.
Yeah, I was stoked with it. I couldn't believe it. Such fun. I don't know if it just like fell off its antler and it fell down this cliff or what the go was with it.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
They can get into some crazy country, that's for sure.
Yeah, right. It was real goat country with steep as.
That's awesome. What about the funniest thing that's happened to you while you've been out?
Funniest thing. Don't know, probably a few beers around a campfire talking stories of what happened during the day, probably, while we're out hunting. It's probably the best. Having a good laugh if you tripped over or if you missed a good deer or something like that is usually good around a campfire. A few beers late at night.
Yeah, there's nothing better than that hunter's campfire mentality, sitting around and just having a good laugh at everything that goes on.
That's what I just love about camping, is just sitting around the fire and talking and having a few beers. It's bloody awesome. I love it. I just think about it all the time.
Yeah, it's definitely a resetter, that's for sure. You're sitting around there and just resets everything.
Yeah.
What about your top 5 dream animals?
I really want to focus on shooting a good representative sambar stag this year. Like, 30 would be awesome. I'd be happy with the 28 plus. But yeah, I'm more of a person like a good representative of the animal. So, for instance, the Hog Deer, like, it was really nice and even, good symmetrical. I'd love that. So in a sambar, I shot a good red that was 12 points. I'd love if in my fallow, some people like the tall antlers. I like an antler with a big palm on it. I think that's a good representative of the animal. So it'd be a good sambar, 30-inch, a really nice representative fallow. Doesn't mean if it means 230 Douglas points, just a good representative of the animal.
So would you go overseas to?
I'd love to shoot.
Would you go overseas to chase a big fallow, or would you try and get one on home soil?
Yeah, I'd probably wait till I shoot one here in Oz, then go over there. I'd love to shoot a good. I'd like to do Australia first, so Rooster, Chiddle, then go over there, do a Seeker and a Tar and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm more of a deer person. Like I'm not a big game animal man at the moment.
Seeker,
like a bear and moose, fancy just yet.
Seeker are so fun to chase. Make sure you get over and chase them during the rut. Like the sounds they make are just incredible.
Yeah, I've heard them. They're bloody unreal. They're a cool looking animal too. They're big antlers.
Yeah, I missed three Seeker with the bow and turned down a alright stag with the rifle at 80 meters. It was like the second day. I'm like, oh no, I'll get something, and yeah, went home and empty-handed.
Oh really? Oh yeah.
So
you see how it is?
Yeah, but I'll get back over there one day, and that's why pretty much any antlered deer that walks out on Snake Island, I'll be letting a bullet or an arrow fly.
A lot of guys on Snake Island, because a lot of guys will do scouting beforehand, or have been there before, like just taking photos. I know a lot of guys that think, I know there's a bigger one here, waits, and don't shoot anything. So, anything over 12 inches, I'd be shooting every day of the week.
Yeah, it's hard to say till I get over there, because I've heard stories and spoken to people, but really I've got no idea of what to expect over there. So it's just going to be like, if I'm seeing lots of deer walk out, I might not shoot the first one I see. I might give it a day or so.
It's afternoon I found, which is good.
Yeah, beautiful. Did you see many over there?
No, I only saw the two, so I shot mine in the first afternoon, which was maybe five. I think it was 5:30, and then I only saw the two. So it was a doe and a stag at 5:30. I think some of the other guys seen a few. I know they've seen a lot of them the Sunday before, so you can go the day before and set up and whatnot, or get over there, which most people do, but you can't hunt until Monday.
Yeah. And you were the second period last time, or third period?
Yeah, I was initially an emergency.
Okay.
So the 15th emergency, and then I drew a period, first second period.
That's beautiful. Yeah, they say that drawing an emergency is a real good chance.
Oh, it is. Yeah, absolutely. A lot of people pull out, which sounds odd, but I think the circumstances they do.
Yeah, it's something like, because you can't really pick when you hunt. They go, these are the dates that you're hunting, and that's it. So
yeah, the worst bit about it is you can't really pick where you're hunting.
Yeah,
because a lot of the guys will work out where they're hunting beforehand. So, for instance, when I went, everyone worked out where they're hunting, and I kind of got the last spot, which worked out good. But I didn't really get to pick where I was hunting.
It worked out better than good, I would say. You got a really good stag.
I shot the best deer and shot it first, so I was pretty right.
How many inches did that one go again?
15 3/4.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Identical on both sides.
Yeah.
So I think within a fourth of an inch or something. No, 1/4. I think it was. I can't remember off the top of my head, but like millimeters being identical.
That's incredible. Yeah, I seen a wicked bow shot one there. I reckon it was from last year. Instead of growing up, it grew out and up.
Yeah. I think he shot that, lost it, and he found it the next day or a couple of days later.
Yeah. That was an incredible deer. If I see a mongrel like that, that's.
There's photos of them. There's some pretty cool ones, and if you go to Sunday Island, they've got some real cool ones mounted up.
Yeah, I heard they got some nice ones in pens and that over there, and they got some sambar and fallow over there in pens as well.
I don't know about sambar. I know they got like Hungarian fallow, and they're bloody rippers. Like some nice fallow over there.
That's awesome. So how did you find you went to the info weekend?
Yeah, I went. That was awesome. It was a bloody best thing I've done, really. It's so much knowledge. Which, because I know, as you assume yourself, like there's not much knowledge, not much information they give you leading up to it. That was huge. Like being a first time going to that tells you so much. It's like an eye opener to like, if this thing's full on, it's real. I've got to organise all this stuff myself. I've got to do this, and got to be somewhat survival skills, and because you're there by yourself basically. If something happens to you, you're on an island by yourself with a couple other guys, which are probably k's away from you. So there's no vehicle access. The Gulf's quite hard to get boats through. Like big boats can't get through, so it's pretty full on with getting there and off and being safe. So the Sunday Island was hugely impactful for me. I learnt so much, which was good. And the people you talk to, like Ron Mays, for instance, he's basically set the whole thing up, and he's been there a few times. I don't think he's ever been able to hunt it because he hasn't been drawn, but just the way they move and all that kind of stuff.
And they take you around and show you a few of the hog deer in pens, so you get an idea of.
Well, even that, like we just walk to the island, we'll just see them, like not even in the pens.
Yeah, cool.
And like, these His pens are huge, like the ones that they've got in. But like we were just walking around the island and you'd see them like just feeding. And there was one night it was windy as, and we walked around this corner. And it was just like a zone of silence. It was just no wind whatsoever, and there was just heaps of them feeding there.
So
like you'd think there'd be no deer. Loving it. It was awesome.
are the numbers better on Sunday Island compared to Snake Island, or?
Nah, not at all. But I think they're more used to people because obviously there's cabins and whatnot there.
Yeah, cool, awesome. So top 5 dream animals, I think was still on. I think you went Samba, fallow,
Fallow, rooster, chital, then probably a seeker.
Yeah, wicked. Yeah, seeker are just incredible. I haven't had the chance to hunt rooster or chital yet either, but seeker were just insane. Like, because I hunted Samba afterwards, like the size of the Samba, the way that they cruise around silently and quietly, like, the seeker are just on another level because, you know, they're about the size of a fallow, maybe a little bit smaller for the hinds, and then a little bit bigger for the stags. But yeah, just the way that they move through the country over there is just incredible.
What made you want to go over there and hunt them?
Just got chatting. No, they weren't even on my radar until like 4 months before I went over there. Just chatting to one of my mates over there, and he said, "Come over during April," and I said, "All right," and went over there.
That's awesome.
But yeah, they're just. Sorry, you cut out there. What was that? Sorry.
Did he live over there, or just
he's up on the North Island, right up the top. So yeah, he'd chased him a few times before and met me at the airport, drove us down to Taupo and went out. And yeah, it was the hardest hunting I've ever done, and it was just different.
Yeah.
Like those Kiwis are built different, and they can move through that terrain. Just insane. I was struggling to keep up, and I was probably at the peak of my fitness then. And, you know, this guy's got a can of Jacks in one hand, a smoke in the other, and leaving me for dust.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the sounds that they make are incredible. Like, just like you hear.
Is that when they run?
Yeah.
Around April.
Yeah. And they do the squeal and the hee-haw and all, like, they make a few different sounds, and it's so good.
If you know old deer, you wouldn't know what they were. You're like, what is that noise?
Yeah, it's one of the weirdest sounds. I'm not sure if you'll be able to hear it, but give us a sec. And I got one of the recordings of one of the stags.
Yeah.
And that's filmed off of my phone, and they just go absolutely nuts. It's so cool.
Is it similar to like they go in different areas, or they kind of sit in one spot, or?
So where we were, it was like we were hunting edges of paddocks and hunting them as they were coming out of the paddock overnight into like the thick scrub type area. And yeah, they'd just sound off, like you'd hear one sound off and then another one sound off, and yes, but they make like 3 or 4 different roars and sounds, so it's just incredible.
That's cool.
It was very cool, and yeah, I found so many casties. Yeah, I think I brought probably about 14 kilos of casties out with me, and. I just taped them to my pack.
There or something.
What was that? Sorry.
Does no one pick them up over there? Or
I think they're just that thick in the area. I found probably about 3 dead heads, and I just hacked the antlers off of the dead heads, and then just heaps of casties and broken off bits and pieces. So yeah, I just taped them all to my pack. How many what? Sorry.
How many antlers of luck do you reckon you would have got?
Probably about, 15 or so, maybe a few more. I've probably got about 5 or 6 that I brought home with me.
Yeah.
And yeah,
That's cool.
it was so good. And then, you know, a couple of the hunting cabins I stayed at on private property, I left one there, and then at another mate's place left another there, you know, just leaving my mark.
Yeah. The small ones, I guess.
Yeah. A couple of different, because they just have all different antler configurations, a few mongrel heads. So left a few of them out there too. What would be your favourite thing to cook with hunted game?
I like just something easy like your schnitzel. Schnitzels are always good, or like your jerky. Like I've been with the bald chef a few times, and he does an awesome shank.
Yeah.
Like, it's unbelievable the stuff he can cook. But yeah, something I just do, like with myself and my partner, we just do schnitzels, nice and easy. Cook heaps of them up, freeze them. Like you crumb them, they're so easy to do, and they're really tasteful. So,
Yes.
Or sausages as well. Do a big mix of. They're easy to do as well. But I really want to have a go at doing salamis probably this year too. So.
Yeah, I need to get down to Hainsey and get him to show me actually how to make sausages and salami.
He bloody a wizard of everything. He bloody makes unreal stuff. It's bloody awesome.
The dude's got the energy of a crackhead. Like, he's just on the go constantly. He stops and sleeps, and that's about it.
Loves what about you? He loves the bangers, the music. Like,
oh, dude, I did not expect him to like that type of music until I went out and hunted with him, and you're just cruising around, like when we were spotlighting, we were just cruising around, and he's just got doof doof going, and it's like, no, I did not expect this. So, how do you see the public views on hunting and hunters?
How the public view us?
Yeah.
I guess it would vary depending on the knowledge they know or have come in contact with hunting, I guess. Like, depending, like, obviously landowners are going to know more than, say, the average Joe Blow in town. It just depends on how they've been associated around with it. Like, I know people that are all for it, and if I shoot you, they're like, oh, bring us some meat around and all that kind of stuff. They don't hunt or anything, but then I know people that don't want a bar of it. I think it just depends on what perspective they have and what they've run into with it. Like, I know some farmers that absolutely hate it because they've probably had poachers there before, where some guys absolutely love it. Like, I go to some properties and it's like, I know you're probably the same. If you go on the property, I feel like I'm so grateful for you letting me on there. But like, I've got properties and they're grateful for me going there to help with deer and things, which I just think is so odd, because I'm like, I'm the one that's doing what I want. Like, I'm hunting the deer, which I love.
Yeah, one of the properties I go out to, I'll crack a window if it's a bit hot out, and I'll come back and there'll be all like mixed produce and jams and pickled stuff and all that on my front seat, all homemade. And they'll get me to come out. They'll be like, rabbit numbers are tearing up my gardens, could you please come out? And they'll be trying to offer me dinner, or we'll stop there in the morning and they'll bring out bread and sandwiches and coffees, and always so thankful. And they'll
That's unreal. Like, it just seems weird because it's like we're doing what we want to do.
Yeah.
But I've even had one like, oh, I'll buy you ammo for you. I'm like, no, don't be silly. Like, I enjoy this. Like, it's not a job. I enjoy it.
Yeah, that property that I go to, we'll get asked to go shoot, stuff when it gets out of proportion. Numbers are out of control, and they're like, oh, we'll buy you ammo. And it's like, no, you don't have to. Like, you're doing me a favor by letting me out there controlling the populations of the animals that you don't want there.
No, it's good. It's good to have those.
Yeah, it's really refreshing having property owners that are grateful for you being out there, and that seems to be all the properties I have access to. You know, they want you to go out there, they want you to crawl in and say g'day afterwards, and you know, one of the properties I hunt, it's the dad passed away a few years ago, so it's just the daughter and the mum who live on the property, so they don't really they lease farm it, so they don't really have too much to do with going out there and checking fences, and you know, I know the property like the back of my hands, and I'll be like, oh, you know, we pulled out a sheep out of this dam. There's holes in this fence. This gate's not working, and you know, just passing all that useful information on to them. They absolutely love it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, how would you change the public views on hunting and hunters?
I don't know, just educate people better to obviously what we do.
Yep, education.
So, for instance, we're not there to just shoot everything we see. We shoot animals as we need, depending on the situation, obviously on the property or up the bush. So you're shooting one deer for some meat for your family, or if you're shooting at a property to eradicate an animal that's doing damage.
Yeah.
To teach that basically.
Yeah, exactly. That's education seems to be the key there. And, you know, once you start telling people that, you know, the government goes through and helicopter culls all the deer in the area and leaves it to waste and baits and all sorts of stuff, it seems to change people's minds on hunting and be more allowing of it.
Yeah.
And the whole food side of stuff too. People seem to be more understanding of that than anything else, which is really refreshing.
Yeah, people like to see things go to waste, so why let it happen? And yeah, it's frustrating.
Exactly. So, what is hunting to you?
I know something that I enjoy is like getting outside, getting up the bush, chasing deer. Like I don't even care if I shoot a deer or not. I just like to be out there, to be honest. Shooting a deer is a bonus. Seeing one's pretty good too. Now I've got a young dog I'm training. That's made it even more enjoyable because to see her succeed as well as me, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I'd love a hunting dog. Are you just getting her to point, or are you going to teach her how to blood trail, or?
Yeah, both. Yeah, so been practicing with her, just training her with doing scenting and blood trails and wind scenting, all that kind of stuff. Because she's a pointer, a German shorted pointer. So yeah, she seems to be going pretty good at the moment.
That's awesome. It would be the next level to hunting, I reckon, is having a dog out there with you, just a good companion that listens.
Yeah. To be honest, was to have a companion with me because I was kind of sick. Like, I like to go with mates and that, but I was kind of sick. Like when you just want to go by yourself to be on your own, it's good to have someone. Like, obviously, it's a dog, but someone there. Even if you're camping by yourself, to have your dog, and yeah, it's good. I enjoy it.
No, that's great. So, tell us a bit about high country hunting gear.
Yeah, so that's a business I started probably maybe 18 months ago, maybe 2 years. Just obviously at the moment it's a clothing apparel brand, which is just for everything kind of hunting at the moment. I just looked at it as something that you can wear anywhere. Because I'm probably similar to yourself. Most of the clothes I have is to do with hunting.
Yeah.
My partner buys me. So I thought I'd do something that you can wear anywhere, basically, apart from camo or whatnot. So something that's comfortable, and obviously priced well. It's sourced through Australian businesses as well, so I get it through local businesses, which helps supporting the community.
Beautiful.
Eventually, want to shift to doing like camo and different products and whatnot. At the moment, it's just obviously just your standard apparel, and started getting into some dog leads and collars and things like that as well. But yeah, it's just slowly creating traction and getting more people involved, and yeah, it's really enjoyable actually.
For 18 18 months to 2 years, it's had incredible growth. That's for sure. You see it in
Yeah.
every second post these days.
Nah, it's good to, like, it's funny though, because I always get mates that like send me a photo if someone's wearing it, or if they're down at the pub or they're at the rodeo or someone's got it. It makes me feel pretty good, because it's not so much for a profit side. It's more of an enjoyment and trying to have something out there that people necessarily enjoy.
It's definitely good looking gear, that's for sure.
Yeah, so it's good. I don't know, I just enjoy hunting, so I thought I had to do something to involve that, basically. So that's probably what basically started it. And I've seen a lot of things out there. I'm like, I was sick of having all these Spiker, Ridgeline, bloody shirts and all this stuff that cost me $60, $80 of pockets. Why not make my own?
How'd you come up with the logo?
The logos, yes, I made both the logos myself. I'm not too bad on a computer, so just a bit of Photoshop, bit of creating just some designs. I made a few, and that one was probably the best. I thought it stuck out a bit. People seemed to like it. I asked a few people, they thought it was pretty cool looking, so that's what I've stuck with at the moment. I know like some businesses change logos throughout, but at the moment they've been pretty popular. A lot of people comment on it, say they like it. So yeah, it's pretty standard. It's just the Samba antlers to replicate, obviously, the high country with the H to H, which is high country hunting, and then the hills, which is the high country itself. So I kind of blended all that into one.
What about the name? How'd you come out about the name?
I seem to like it because obviously it doesn't just mean a generalised area. Like high country, everyone loves the high country. It's like if you said some of the high country, you picture the massive hills, the streams, rivers. It just means everything bush. So instead of being like outdoor or something like that, I thought to create like a picture, which is high country. So if you picture high country right now, you'll be thinking of something different to someone else.
Yeah.
So that's probably kind of created it. It's not somewhat catchy, but I don't know. It's a good. I feel like it's a good name for a business, and yeah.
No, it's definitely catchy. What would be some of your best selling merch? What would you recommend people to have a look at?
Yeah. At the moment, what's pretty popular, the caps. I've brought out some new like striped trucker caps, which are pretty popular. They're selling pretty quick. Footy shorts.
The footy shorts look great.
I've brought out. Yeah, they're bloody really comfy, and they've sold out real quick. I've just got another batch in.
What colour do you do those in? Just the black, or
yeah? So I've only done one. I'm on the second batch, but just to see what they'll turn out to be like. So they're just black and white at the moment, but I want to do some different logos on different designs, like say like some Samba antlers, even fallow, maybe some hills on it. Not too sure yet, but just got the first one in because obviously when the way you do it is you bulk buy, so I'll order 50 of them at a time. I've got to upfront pay that cost, obviously, even if it's good or not. And I saw it through a local business, so I've got to make sure like they've got to be paid, and so as myself, so I can't say, oh no, I don't like these.
Yeah.
So you've got to be conservative with what you order and get. So I just done a batch to start with, and they were really good. And they sold out so quickly, so I had to get another batch in. So I haven't even had a chance to design a different design yet.
That's good.
But yeah, like just the tees, there's long sleeves, the singlets are pretty popular. There's hoodies. Hat tags, hats, bucket hats, stickers, all that kind of stuff. Dog collars, dog leads to come.
Wicked.
Just slowly get bigger.
No, it's good. You've definitely got some great colours. I pretty much only wear those greens and those those desert tan browns and that. So
yeah,
it's very appealing.
The basic stuff I like as well, and I assume other people do. But yeah, eventually going into somewhat of like a camouflage design would be awesome to design my own eventually. But I'm just trying to create the volume of people first, and then then I've got a point to sell it to.
It's definitely good. I'm keen to see what you come out with, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So, if people have enjoyed what they've listened to and heard, where can they find you? Where can they find High Country?
Yeah, so most popular place would be Instagram. I do have Facebook as well. Probably Instagram is where I'm most active. So my main hunting account, which is for myself, which is Dano_Hunts with a Z. So DANO_HUNTZ. And then if you want to follow like the High Country page, which is like the apparel, like what I'm posting for gear wise or new products and things like that, it's High Country Hunting Gear, or one word.
Awesome.
On Instagram, but on Facebook as well. But I mostly post to Instagram. I find that the what would you say the word? The audience or whatever the word would be is better based through Instagram, I find.
Yeah, the algorithm tends to reach more people through Instagram, from what I've found anyway.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and you don't get all that jargon like you do on Facebook, like all those random videos and ads and all that kind of stuff. I just like to look at the things I'm following, which is Instagram is mostly like that now.
Yeah. I definitely agree there. Instagram tends to be the better platform for following hunting and fishing and all things outdoors.
Yeah.
And I can't recommend heading over and giving you a follow, and definitely follow High Country as well. It's some great merch. Yet to get myself some yet, but I've seen Hainsey in his, and Josh from Send It Mate in his, and Brett is constantly wearing it, so it's definitely getting around. Every second hunter's wearing it in Australia by the looks of it.
Those guys are supporting. That's what I like the community. We support each other. Like for instance, Matt from Ultimate Hunting Australia. Like I helped him a bit, and he's helped me with the merch as well. And that's just to name one without naming a few. And it's just like guys helping each other, like yourself, reaching out to people and just connecting with others. I think it's what's most important.
Yeah, 100%. Like when I drew the Hog Deer ballot, you've reached out to me and started giving me advice and helping me out. And I've taken it all on board. I've set up a little Facebook group chat with all the guys in my period. So it's been good to have a good chat to them and work out what they're doing and stuff like that. So thank you for your help for that, and thank you for jumping on as a guest and chatting all things hunting and Snake Island.
Absolutely, anytime. I enjoy it.
Yeah, no, it's great fun. There's nothing more I love than just talking hunting and fishing.
Yeah, like you just this around a campfire, you can talk all night long. Like it's just there's so many avenues and topics you can go down. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's crazy how long some podcasts can go. Like you just go down one rabbit hole, then down another one, then down another one, and it just goes so quick. Like it doesn't feel like it's been almost an hour and a half now. Like
yeah, I know. 5 minutes.
But yeah, no, I really appreciate you coming on, man, and yeah, we'll definitely chat soon. And good luck on your hog deer hunt and during the rut. And
yep, I'll organise some sambar hunting. So
I'm definitely keen to see how you go, and I'm definitely crossing my fingers for you to drop a hoggy with a bow while you're over there. That's for sure.
I'll try. Are you hunting with the bow over there too?
I'm taking it with me. But because I don't know what to expect, yeah, we'll see how I go. Something's going to hit the deck.
Yeah, that's right. Just let it in.
Yeah, if I could work out how to shoot both at the same time.
That's a good way to go.
But yeah, no, cheers, mate. Have a good night, and chat to you next time.
Yeah. Will do. Cheers, Zach. See ya.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Hunting Connection Podcast. Please head over to our social media and give us a follow. Instagram at Hunting Connection Podcast, Facebook at Hunting Connection Podcast, Twitter at Hunting Connect, TikTok at Hunting Connection Podcast. If you've enjoyed, please share with your friends and family, tag us in your photos and videos on social media, subscribe, rate and review to help grow the podcast. If you're interested in giving additional support to the podcast, you can head over to our podcast's Patreon page. Thank you very much for listening and catch you next episode.